right, and we're back. All right, we're gonna make a traditional cheese sauce now with some flour and some butter. I have the pan heating up already because, like I said, we have this little cooktop. All right, so hey, I'd like to give a shout out. Our #1 fans from Washington State sent us grinders. All right, not the ones Sam uses. These are actual pepper and salt grinders. All right, so they sent it to us because they felt sorry for us making the sound to grind. So thank you very much. It's awesome. I'm gonna go store tomorrow morning, get some salt and some pepper, and will actually be grinding the spices then. Okay, so we're gonna get this started. Like I said, we got butter. I'm gonna put that in the pan right now, and I'm gonna go around and get you so you can watch this. Okay, watch this from a bird's eye view. All right, because that's important. All right, here we go. Here we go. That's that. Be careful not to burn the butter, because if you burn the butter, it's just not going to be good at all. Not at all. So there we go. All right, looking good, looking good. All right, so we're gonna do that. What we're gonna do is add some flour to this. When we add the flour, it's gonna make a roux. All right, we're using a half cup butter. So what we're gonna do is it doesn't have to be perfect. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a bit of flour in there, all right? And you're gonna stir it at the same time you're putting the flour in. Get rid of all the lumps. What you want it to do is you want it to be the consistency of creamy peanut butter. Okay, so see that? Maybe a little bit more there. You don't want it too thick. You want to bake it, the flour, fry the flour taste out of it. We already did our macaroni noodles earlier. We chilled them in the fridge. So they'd stop cooking. If they continue to cook as long as they're hot, you don't want to do that because then they'll end up soggy. So, all right, there we go. A nice little roux going there. Let it simmer a little bit, but don't let it burn to the bottom of the pan. You don't want it to burn, because if it burns, it gives it a whole different flavor, a burnt flavor, and it's not as good. It really isn't. So, at this time, you might want to preheat your oven. This, when it goes in, it's going to require about a half an hour, 45 minutes in the oven for a nice baked mac and cheese. All right, so let that simmer a little bit. I'm going to go preheat my oven. I preheated at 350 degrees. So there we go. I'm just going to continue to do this. We're going to get this out of here. There we go. Come on there. All right. Next, we're going to add some milk. Wash my hands. I add a little bit of milk at a time as you're stirring. Okay, see that? Oh, that's going to be good. All right, here we go. It's going to thicken up quick. Keep stirring. You don't want to add all your milk at the same time, because then it's going to be runny. It's going to take a long time to thicken up. This one we're not adding cornstarch to because we added flour. Okay, if you happen to put too much milk in, you can do what they call a slurry. And a slurry, we used to call it something else in the Navy when I cooked in the Navy for 10 years. We used to call it a bull F, But this is called a slurry. What you do is you add your water and your milk into a mason jar, and you just shake it up real good, and make sure there's no lumps. And you can pour it through a little fine mesh strainer to get any flour lumps out if you want to, if you need to. But yeah, a slurry is a good way. I don't like slurries too much because I think this way it really gets the taste of the flour out by frying it in here. A lot of people use it, do a roux in the oven, brown it in the oven. And that's the traditional way to do it, really. But I just do it in a pan. I've never had a problem with it at all. So, all right, we're gonna let this thicken up a little bit. You can see it's thickening. Of course, my burner's hot right now, so it's gonna thicken it up, heat it up pretty quick. Now this one can be just a regular cheese sauce. It doesn't have to be thick like the other one with the cauliflower. It can just be regular. The only thing that's different about this one is the noodles. The noodles seem to soak up the salt a lot. So you have to, when you do your cheese sauce, you want to make it a salty cheese sauce. So very much on the salty side, because those noodles soak it up, and the salt just, it'll taste like you didn't add any salt at all. So you want to make it a really salty cheese sauce. And of course, we're going to use the kosher salt. Of course, tomorrow we'll be grinding our own, thanks to our #1 fans up there. That's awesome. Thank you again for that. It was so thoughtful. I couldn't believe it. It came in the same time it was our GoPro did. We ordered a GoPro 7 Hero 7 Black, which is supposed to be really good. So we're gonna be experimenting with that. And it came in. I was like, what is this? I didn't know what it was. So it was really, really thoughtful. Thank you. Of course, our #1 fan is our daughter-in-law and our son up in Washington. So they didn't tell us they were doing it. So it was right. It was quite a surprise. I was very happy. So, all right. Of course, with this cheese, this mac and cheese, my wife has to have hot dogs with it. Hot dogs and mac and cheese. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So good. All right, this cheese sauce is almost done. Except for the cheese. Gotta add the cheese, and then we'll be good to go. See how thick that is? How nice, and the consistency of that. It's gonna continue to thicken up a little bit more too. So you don't want this one to be too thick, because it will continue to thicken up in the oven, and the noodles, of course, are going to soak up some of the liquid too. If you want it a little bit thinner, then you would just use normally. Get this cheese. And once again, a couple handfuls of this cheese going in there. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. Alright. You can pretty much use any kind of cheese. I prefer cheddar, but sometimes some Parmesan, maybe a little mozzarella on top. I don't know. Maybe I should try some Gouda or something. I don't know. I guess you could try anything. You can make a cheese sauce. You can see that start to, oh, it's thickened up. It's going to thicken up a little bit more when the cheese gets in there, so add a little bit more milk. And of course, if I have any leftover, what I do is, for Shane, I'll go in there and add a little bit of maybe some fresh habaneros or jalapeno, or maybe a little Carolina Reaper powder, maybe a little cumin, and make like a little queso. You can add some salsa to it, maybe some pico. If you add this to some pico de gallo, oh, it's so good, so good. Yep, there we go. That's looking good, looking really good. All right. Oh, that splattered all over. Let's see see about this. Get this out of here. You don't want that on your cast iron pan. That's going to cause it's going to get sick. So I'm not clean that one later. Oh wow, that looks good. That looks so good. All right, so as you can hear, Grayson is up from his nap. All right, so there we go. Some kosher salt in there. I don't know what it is about kosher salt, but it's saltier. It's saltier. Amy is in there watching Pets 2 with Grayson. A little bit of pepper. Everybody loves pepper. Yeah, pepper in their cheese sauce. Oh yeah, look at that. That is going to be wonderful. It's going to be life-changing mac and cheese. And the color's good. The consistency is good. It's really just, that's going to be wonderful. All right, so now what I want to do, and this is a cheese sauce you definitely have to stir. All right, it's got flour and milk in it, and it will burn to the bottom. It will. So you do not want to let this burn, because like I said before, it will give you a funky flavor, a burnt flavor. You don't want that. You do not want that. All right, so that's a good consistency right there. I like that. Might add a little bit more milk, just a little. Just to thin it out. Ooh, the oven's done preheating. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this off the burner and show you guys. Assemble this, okay? All right. Hold on one second. Turn off this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our normal. Right there. All right, here we go. Now what we have to do is take our macaroni that we put into the bag earlier and put it right in here. Pour it right in there, move it around a little bit. All right. And then take this wonderful cheese sauce here. And it's going to be wonderful. It is. Yeah, that's going to be good. All right. So here we go. Here we go. I'm going to pour that, saturate that in there. I'm going to leave a little bit, make a little queso later for Shane. Shane loves queso. Then we stir that around. Get that cheese incorporated. And one thing I forgot to mention with the other one was what I like to do, just for a little garnish. You put a little cheese, just sprinkle it right on top. Right on top, so it gets that nice melted cheese, kind of burnt on cheese at the top when it comes out of the oven. It's going to be bubbling like lava. But that's the way Amy likes it. She likes it hot right out of the oven. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so next thing is we're going to put this in the oven. Of course, we have to make hot dogs, and Amy's hot dogs, the only one she likes. Little Smokies from Oscar Mayer. They're really good, actually. So, yeah, all right. We're going to get this going, and we will talk to you later. All right? Bye.